My husband and I have 5 kids and our 2 youngest are autistic. To help inspire them and anyone else, here's 12 autistic people you didn't know were autistic. And the 12th is a Nobel Peace Prize winner. Now there's talk and rumors about this person and how these famous people might be autistic, but let's talk about the people first who have an official diagnosis and who have said to the public, yes, I'm autistic.
And you said it.
The first I want to start out with is Susan Boyle. I was on YouTube and I saw her YouTube video of her tryout of Britain's Got Talent, of her audition, and I remember wondering why it has so many views. That's why I clicked on it, was because of the millions of views. Her intro of her just standing there on stage and then comparing that to what happened when she started singing, that was amazing. And she just stunned the world. And then I saw her book at a local store and I picked it up and I went, oh, she is diagnosed with Asperger's. How fascinating is that? She's a great example of someone who can step out of her comfort zone and achieve her dreams. This one is Christopher Nowinski, a pro wrestler and football player. And what I love about him is how incredibly open he is about his autism. Right from the start, he said, I'm autistic. And he's a huge advocate to increase awareness and understanding for autism. The next one you might have heard, but wondered if it was a rumor or not. Bill Gates. It took him a while, but he finally decided to tell the world, yes, he was diagnosed with Asperger's syndrome. And Asperger's syndrome in the US no longer is a diagnosis, and so that really confuses people, even me. So I asked a doctor, someone with Asperger's, what would their diagnosis look like now? And this is what he said, that the old Asperger's is actually called autism level 1 with communication, level 1 with repetitive behaviors, without intellectual deficit, and without communication deficit. That's a long list of things. Let's just say level 1 autism for right now. And when I say level 1 autism, know that I mean Asperger's syndrome or also the long list that I just said. Okay? Bill Gates has achieved so much in the world of business and science and Microsoft. Yeah, he kind of founded that. This guy's net worth, yes.
Can I go to the Kevin's house?
What homework do you have? Okay, you can go and you need to be back by 5:30. So that's a lot of money. And his net worth is like over $100 billion. So yeah, I guess you could say that he's successful, but not as much as Elon Musk is worth. And yes, he has come out and said officially that he was diagnosed with Asperger's syndrome, which would now be called level 1 autism. This guy's net worth is over $200 billion. And I can't even wrap my head around what that amount even would look like.
What's it look like in there?
Like, what could you even buy with $200 billion? Put in the comments anyone who you look up to that's autistic. Let's see how big this list can get. The next is Haley Moss. She was diagnosed when she was 3 years old, but she didn't let a diagnosis define her destiny. She's the first openly autistic lawyer in Florida, which is pretty amazing. And thank you for being an amazing example and an advocate to help spread awareness and understanding for those on the autism spectrum. And I love hearing about people on the spectrum because I have 2 sons who are also autistic. My husband and I actually sold our house, we moved into an RV, and we traveled to all the national parks with 5 kids in an RV. We learned a lot. We still post regularly, so please consider subscribing. And this person I just found out about, Heather Kuzmic, and she's been competing on a top model reality show. And not only does she want to be a model, but she's also putting herself on reality TV, which seems really scary to me. But thank you, Heather, for being open about your diagnosis. Remember, if you have an autistic child, you're in good company. Now, this guy I heard was autistic, and I kind of was like, are you sure? Well, he made the announcement. It's official. He was diagnosed with Asperger's syndrome. Mark Zuckerberg, he co-founded Facebook. If you haven't heard of him, then you've heard of him, I'm sure, actually. Yeah, he's just worth $100 billion. Okay, let's move on. This next one is an actress. She has been in lots of big movies, especially in the 80s and 90s. One, you might recognize her co-star and friend. Yeah, that's Julia Roberts there. She's not autistic, but Daryl Hannah is. She was diagnosed as a little girl, but decided to keep it to herself during her acting career. And now that she's older, she's announced to everyone that she's autistic. She's really lived her own life. She even lived off the grid in a teepee for several years by choice with many animals, including a pig. It was her pet. I love how she created her unique normal. This is not an expectation that you have to become this crazy famous person with some amazing ability. You don't. That's not the expectation. And please, as a parent, don't put that expectation on your autistic child. That would not be good. My autistic sons, Simon and Ezra, are such an important part of our family. Simon is 3 years old, he has level 1 autism, and Ezra is 7 years old and he has level 3 autism. But I have seen miracles with these kids, and I just want the world to open more doors to them. How about all the famous people that don't come out and say it, but we kind of wonder if maybe they are, because they kind of say it? What about Jerry Seinfeld that said, I want to set the record straight, I do not have autism. But he also told an NBC nightly news anchor, I think on a very drawn out scale, I think I'm on the spectrum. He said he went to a play about autism, and he said that he just really related to autistic people. And so take that for what it's worth. Or what about Eminem, who literally says in the lyrics of one of his songs, I have Asperger's. I mean, in my opinion, that's kind of saying it, right? And that rapper has earned so many awards for his music that he's written. It's really astounding. Now let's talk about the man who discovered hydrogen, Henry Cavendish. I don't know how to pronounce it, but that's how you spell it. He was born in a time with lords and ladies and lots of servants. He made incredible discoveries in the name of science, to list a few. But what I love to learn about this guy is what his friend said. One of his colleagues actually said this: he has no affections, but always meant well. He spent time at home wearing the same clothes, working on his science and special interests, and didn't like talking to anyone, even the servants. He actually had a separate staircase built to his room so that he could avoid running into anyone in his own house. And when he had things to say to the servants, he would write them notes. Thank you, Henry, for dealing with this crazy world and contributing so much in the name of science. Albert Einstein is thought by many people that he might have ADHD or autism or both. Bobby Fischer, who is a grandmaster chess player and was world champion at one time. And here's number 12, who is a Nobel Peace Prize winner and alive today still. Dr. Vernon Smith. He won the Nobel Peace Prize for the advancement of economics, and he's a professor. He taught at Chapman University, Purdue, and Stanford. Check out these 2 videos right here, Autism Playlist and 12 Signs of Autism Stimming. It's a good one.